Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and today we're going to focus on part 4 of our Mural double modular. Now parts 1 to 3 have very much focused on this area here with the absent base plate, with our building taking up the right hand portion of that, facing that way, with the door to the skate shop diagonally towards us, and the mural on the back, of course, facing the railway line. And today we're going to very much be expanding along here. So we're going to have to liberate this base plate and take it to the building desk so we can get going on that one as well. And it is worth mentioning that that railway line does continue along the entire back line of this build. So essentially, well, it needs to be closed off to a degree, but it is still visible from the main standing hole and the main viewing angle of the room. So we do want it to still be interesting. So that is the area that we are going to address today. But before we get to today's build, we have to remind ourselves what we did in the first 3 parts, and also do your suggestions from the last video, which was the alternative information radio booth, which went down very well, I must say. So thanks for all of those suggestions. Now, a lot of them were to do with the super secret police, and them having some sort of interaction or maybe censorship of this radio station, as they do to my channel, of course. And I kind of want to get the whole build done before I start doing scenes that are going to be outside this footprint, and we don't really want an SSP agent right outside this door, because you know what they'll be like, standing out like a sore thumb. But one thing I did like about one particular SSP comment was adding a very big bug to the antenna at the top. So that's what I've done here. And as you can see, it's incredibly subtle, given that they've put their logo on not just one side, but the other side as well, given that it did have a flat surface, so it clearly needed one. And that's very crudely tapped into the antenna and is broadcasting back to HQ, so they can monitor exactly what's being said. So I really like that spin on the other SSP suggestions, so that one gets its own bedoing. So we like the keypad on the door, I think, on balance. There were a few changes to the inside. Let's hope we can see through the window, or, oh god, it's quite firmly attached. There we go. So one was to give headphones to Clint Rage, so you can see they're around his neck, because he's very much on transmit rather than receive, if you know what I mean. So there we go. Nice red ones that stand out quite clearly. I think they were from a Monkey Kid set. Then I've removed the tile from his desk to give him an energy drink. Yes, Vita Rush, everyone's favourite drink that makes you go a bit crazy for a while and makes your mouth go orange. Stuff like that. And he's clearly fueled by that, which helps his rage go quite a long way. So that was a really good one. And then just so I could still use that tile, it's on the floor now. With another post-it note as well, just to make it look like things are falling off that board, so it's nice and cluttered. I didn't want too much clutter, loads of boxes of evidence, because, well, it still needs to look like what it is rather than just being completely crammed. So, yeah, a bit of a delicate balance, but I like all of those suggestions. That was really good. And then on the back side, I think we are going with the magenta door, after sort of flip-flopping around with all sorts of different alternatives. I'll put that back properly in a minute. And then the last one was to give the delivery boy some food, because if he was running down the stairs towards a bike that was full of food, then, well, he wouldn't be empty-handed now, would he? So that is a really good improvement there. So thanks for all of those. Here is your bedoing. Good. Now here are all the parts for either today's build and the next one, or maybe today's, depending on how well we do with time. There's quite a few different colours in here. You can see green, pink, orange, purple, and all the rest of it, because a lot of those are going to be used on what I'm going to do first, which is building, well, the rest of that back wall along the railway line. So that's going to go along the entire length of this and link up with where Pigsy's standing over there. And just so I don't have to keep bringing this into shot, I'm essentially going to use this small different coloured base plate temporarily as kind of a stopgap for that area that Pigsy's standing on, so I can push this firmly to one side today and just work on here. So you'll have to imagine that that's going right up to the corner with the skate shop. So yes, I want to do a continuation of a straight wall. We can't have too much doors and so on going onto that railway line. So it's going to be another mural. And this is where the one that's on the back that we've done already, the Mario star, is really the minor one of the two. It's going to be absolutely dwarfed by the one that I'm going to be doing along pretty much all of the rest of the back, from about here to about here, where there'll be another 3D sign at the very end. So I was looking again at the internet for some inspiration, looking at all sorts of 8-bit and 16-bit sort of very pixelated art or sort of memes and so on. And one that really leapt out, which I think is absolutely fantastic, that I know a lot of people will absolutely hate, very divisive as usual, is described by Wikipedia as an animated cartoon cat with a Pop-Tart body flying through space, leaving a rainbow trail behind. So a lot of you will instantly know that that is Nyan cat. Not Nyan cat, as some people pronounce it, but Nyan cat. Nyan meaning meow, basically, in Japanese, onomatopoeic word. That's how they think it sounds, which definitely isn't the worst comparison. You think, Nyan? Yeah, it kind of is cat-like, isn't it? I think the Spanish, is it? Say kiki-kari for a cockerel crowing in the morning. Kiki-kari. I don't see that one at all. So anyway, I digress. Back to Nyan cat. If you don't know, it's an absolutely crazy video of a, well, yeah, cat with a Pop-Tart body flying through space with a rainbow trail behind. And that was the meme of the year in 2012, so we're going back a good decade there. And I looked into the history, actually, which I didn't know myself. Essentially, the picture was done, first of all, as a doodle by a chap called Christopher Torres in April 2011, where he was trying to do a cat and a Pop-Tart combined, and he came up with this picture. And then there was, in parallel, a song called Nyan Nyan Nyan, which means meow meow meow, in Japan. And somebody called Momo Momo turned the sound around and made it into that wacky soundtrack that goes along with that video. But the real inspired person was Sarah June, who combined the two together, the really annoying song with the really silly images of the Pop-Tart cat. And they combined to make Nyan cat. So if you haven't seen that, I'm going to provide a link in the description below just so you can check it out. And I'm definitely sure it will divide my audience. You will either see it as 3 minutes and 37 seconds of brilliance or horror, depending on your point of view. I often think if you're very sad and maybe a bit down, then if you watch Nyan cat, it will definitely cheer you up. I mean, how can it not? It's just so silly. However, it is dangerous because I think if you start off happy and you watch Nyan cat, then basically it might just make you angry and a bit sad. So take care with that. And some absolute masochist put it on loop and made a 10-hour video of it on YouTube as well, just looping. Nothing happens, you know. It just keeps going on and on and on. So I don't suggest you watch that. But clearly it's a very profitable area of the internet because the creator, as I said, Christopher Torres, ended up selling Nyan cat as an NFT, a non-fungible token. Yeah, me either. For $587,000. What? For basically ownership of, well, an animated cat. So anyway, yeah, a lot of money in there. I don't think my Lego creation is going to be worth anywhere near that amount, but I do just love that image of the cat with a Pop-Tart body and a rainbow coming out of its butt. Right, so I've just put down the first level of bricks and it's starting all the pixelation of Nyan cat's little feet. So we're looking from the perspective of the first standing hole, and the railway line will be here, of course, so we'll be seeing it diagonally like this. And that means that the skate shop will be over here with that stairway down from the noodle shop there. And this gap in the wall will be an archway that links the stairway to the customer area, which will be all out the front there. We've got a grate for a drain pipe. The mural that will be filling most of this wall, pretty much from end to end here. This doorway, which will go into the store that's right on the corner here, right next to that level crossing on the railway. And I'm going to have the mural going all the way around that, so it'll go right up to there. So yeah, it's quite a big beast, isn't it? So let's get going. I just love this process. It's so great fun seeing it come together. You know exactly what it's going to look like when it's done, but wow, it still looks absolutely great. So we've got Nyan Cat's back paw there, and this is his tail going off diagonally there, and this is the butt rainbow that's coming out of the back of him. And you can see it's sort of wavy in its form, but it gets cut off quite abruptly here by a great big 3D sign, which will be advertising the store on the corner, which this will be the back door to. And you can start to see I'm using some bricks that are actually going into the build a bit deeper than just this one distance facade sort of thing on the back, and that's because they'll be structural later on for something else. So yeah, it's not as simple as it looks, not as 2D, but yeah, I really like how it's coming together. This colour looks great. The green's a bit hard to see, but you'll be able to see that better when the rest of the wall is there, showing it up against that backdrop rather than the green. Cool. So yeah, I better keep on going and we'll get some more body and, well, a bit of Pop-Tart next, I suppose. Now each of these pixels is just two 1x1 plates together, which isn't entirely square like a pixel would be, but it's close enough, and they can be added individually where necessary, but wherever possible try and combine them into much bigger bricks and plates to reduce the number of panel lines in between them and add some strength. So for example here I've got some 1x1x3 bricks for the edge of the Pop-Tart. So yeah, it's a bit of a fiddly build, and it was very fiddly collating all of these parts together in all these different colours and all these very, very small pieces, but I think it will be worth it in creating everyone's favourite feline toaster-based snack. That is Nyan Cat. I kind of want to play the music for the animation while I'm doing this, but then again, it might drive me over the edge. Hey, coming along, looking rather nice. Got the bottom of his face in, one of his rosy cheeks, and most of the Pop-Tart. I think we've got a little bit more round here. It's very much like doing an old-fashioned jigsaw puzzle, really. Got to keep referring back to the pictures to see what I'm supposed to be doing to get the pieces in the right place. No need to kind of hammer ones that don't quite fit in, but I'm trying to keep it as flat as possible because it can be turned, especially these 1x1s, so they're sticking out just a little bit. But yeah, I think it looks better from a distance at the very least, and it's a really good change from doing Mario all the time. So this bit will go on the top here and be the top of the Pop-Tart, but also be quite structural in linking to the rest of the buildings that will be going on the other side of this, because they'll be all businesses, of course. So right, I need to finish off this square, and then we've got a more interesting bit here because it's very flat at the moment, and I do want to have kind of a 3D element in there. All right, so he's looking rather fantastic, I think you'll agree, and he's nearly finished, but so far so flat, essentially. It's very colourful and interesting, but has no texture whatsoever, so I wanted to remedy that. And one way of doing it, I thought, was to have a drain pipe coming down the back of the building, kind of interrupting the canvas that the artist is working on and going down to this drain here. And there is actually a reason for there being a drain pipe here that will be on the other side of this wall later. So I figured what happens in real life is artists kind of incorporate all of the natural elements to a building into their artwork, so the art will just kind of continue over it uninterrupted. So how I'm going to do that is by building a drain pipe that's got all sorts of spray paint already on it as well. And essentially that bit will go into there and become part of the pattern. And you see all the pink bits are in front of pink bits and all the black bits will be in front of black bits and so on. And that is the normal colour of the drain pipe that hasn't had any paint applied to it. And then this section will be the bottom bit that goes here. That bit will be in the wall, of course, but I'll hold it for now. And that will be continuing the pattern on there. So essentially the pattern will be uninterrupted and Nyan Cat as we'd want him, her to be, but essentially it will be going over all of the obstacles in its way, and this will go all the way up, continuing that sort of interesting colour scheme that reflects the painting behind it and, well, over it as well. Now this is going to be quite fragile unless I'm very careful, so I'm going to put some bar pieces on the inside of this, long ones there and short ones there, and that should help hold it all together when it's done. So yeah, I'm going to have to go backwards a little bit to start incorporating that, but I think it will be worth the effort. All right, so there he is, completed. Well, almost. I've still got to add the top of the second drain pipe, which we can do together. And the top edge is very rough at the moment, and I've just put in some random blocks to sort of finish off the picture. It will be incorporated into the lift-offable layer above, effectively, when we get to that floor. So, yeah, it's straddling two sections of the build. But, yeah, it looks rather fantastic. Big cat head, lovely Pop-Tart, and big butt rainbow. Fantastic. So yeah, you can see the colour of the rosy cheek and his face, and the outline in black is all continued on these round bricks. And I can continue that by doing the next section. I'm going to add this bar in here for some strength, then add the grey pieces onto that and push it down, if it'll go. Don't catapult across the room, please. There we go. That's aligning with the grey cheek. And then we've got a black section for the border. And then we can add the top section that clips into the wall using one of those 1x2 rounded plates as well, because they've got the holes in, which allows the bar piece to go through, of course. So there we go. I'll just complete that wall with a brick that's temporary for now. Bit too long for the actual position, but there we go. So it's really good that we can see the paint over the edge of there going underneath it as well. It's important that they were grey and pink respectively, so there isn't a break in that colour, of course. But I do like the fact that the picture has continued over a 3D element, and the fact that we've got some of the original colour of the grey, I think brings it up. I could have made that white so it's the same as the wall, but I figure that's the sort of grey plastic of the drain pipe itself, and it picks it out a little bit so we can see that that obstacle is there. But yeah, I really like that. I think it's quite an interesting technique. It's definitely made it not too flat and pancakey. So yeah, do tell me what you think of that, but I think he's fantastic. Only wish I could play the soundtrack over this bit without getting a copyright strike, but you'll have to click on the link below if you want to play the music at the same time. Okay, well, temporarily getting rid of this will allow me to combine our two murals together. But before I do that combined rear view, I did want to show you the other side of this, because obviously we've got the mirror version of Nyan Cat on the inside of our build now. And I will be doing, well, kind of a double wall in different techniques, so this doesn't bleed through just like we did on the skate shop, because all these businesses don't want just a fragment of this much larger mural showing on the inside. So yeah, it will be a double wall, which is why I used that double thickness door frame, for example. So that will probably answer a few questions. And there is the back of that drain pipe, of course, with its rounded plates here and there. Cool, so if we do this, this will be our inaugural joining of the two halves. Just move my mug out of the way, and that will essentially go in there. But before I push it down, I need to get the drain cover in there. And that is just a turntable piece with the turntable bit removed. Push that down, and you'll see that I've added a little tag as well, GA. That was on another Monkey Kid sticker sheet, but I thought that that pink that those little initials were in was the same as the kind of sugary bits on the Pop-Tart, so I thought it worked rather well. And for those that didn't like the pink on the back of the stairway or the magenta door perhaps, you'll see that all this pink really ties in with this pink now. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing from your perspective, because we've got loads of pink on the back, but it's not so isolated. And also when this wall continues up, you really won't see any of this pink at all from the front. So maybe that will make it better as well. But there is our second and much bigger mural. And I think the addition of the little tag signature and all that colour is making the build rather fantastic. And the 3D elements of this doorway, which the painting goes around, and this drain pipe that the painting goes over, I think keep it interesting. And it's going to be even more interesting when we've got all the rest of this build on here. And don't think it stops here as well. It goes all the way to the edge of this base plate, because we've got a road plate here. So we'll still have a 6 wide pavement here as well. So this is really going to be a colossal build, and we're going up to have a total of 3 stories on this side, and it'll just be 2 stories in the middle. So yeah, loads more to do, but what do you think of progress today? I really like this. This is the arch that I was going to have the bike leaning up against like that. Oh yes, that looks a lot better now. Brilliant. So it really ties it all together. Fantastic. Well, another view and another perspective. Not the most interesting build in some regards, in the fact that we haven't got a brand new store that's packed and stacked full of awesome goodies, but you know, this view is going to be very visible from the main standing hole and the entry into the Lego room, so it is very important. I do want this building to look absolutely great from every angle, and that's what's made it a real design challenge in a way, but I think you'll agree that I'm doing a pretty good job so far. So do tell me what you think of my choice of Nyan cat as a subject matter for this. I think the rainbow and everything else just makes it absolutely pop, so I'm quite happy with it. Do tell me what you think about the technique on the drain pipe. I was quite proud of that as well. And I think you're starting to see it all join together. So yeah, looking good. But as always, do tell me what you think. So next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be doing a brick haul because it'll be a Wednesday. And if you want to send something in, then you can to the usual address. I've got one package from somebody who's been very generous because it's quite big. It's just to the left of me here. So we'll be going through that and a package of my own from bricklink.com. Then on Friday, we'll be doing a mock build. I'm wondering if I could do an undersea build or something like that because I'm kind of into that cabinet at the moment, but maybe I'll do something train related. Don't know. And then on Monday, of course, we'll be back here for part 5 of this. We'll be doing another build there. So as always, thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome Lego videos. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Do check out the links in the description below. I know a couple of you have bought one of the brand new castle sets that's absolutely huge that I treated myself to as well for my birthday. From the coffers from the channel, and that contribution is incredibly significant. So if you're going to make a really big purchase, do use my Lego link if you'd be so kind, and you'll be really supporting me do wonderful builds like this. So until next time, see you. Nyan, 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 nyan.